welcome to United Chokros. How are you guys doing today? We have today with us Prashant on our show. Thank you, Prashant, for coming on the show. Like every time
Yeah.
we so we always discuss about post-match reviews, pre-match, Solskjaer's press conferences, and we do talk about transfers, your Haalands and Varane and Sancho and Declan Rice. We do talk about all those players that are linked to United, and who wouldn't want Marquee signing like Haaland or Sancho to United? Like me and Prashant, all fans vouch for the signings, but can our board and Ed Woodward deliver those signings? Should we be practical enough? Because our board and Solskjaer have said that during this pandemic, United have been affected and we may not be able to spend that kind of money. So, if we are not able to spend on such players, how do we solve this issue? Today, me and Prashant have listed out 5 players that United could sign and yet not spend a huge amount of money. They are pretty decent players. Most of them are potential players who could be a few prospect in the future and turn out to be a world class players. But at this point in time, they are most probably a bargain deal for us and kind of a risk, which may turn out to be a good signing, may not turn out. So we're going to discuss about 5 potential signings that United could do and not spend a huge amount of money. First of all, Prashant, I forgot to ask you, how are you doing today? I asked our viewers, how are they? How are you today?
Hi there. Yeah, thank you so much for asking. I'm doing fine myself. I guess you look pretty good yourself. So good to know that you're safe. And hope all of our audiences are also safe and well at their homes.
Absolutely. It's a difficult time that we are going through right now since past 1 year, and I do hope all of you are safe at your homes. So let's get straight into it. Before I go ahead, guys, do make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your love and support is the most important thing to us. So let's get into this. First of all, I would like to talk about. We're going to talk about 5 players. So the first player that we're going to talk about is centre back. Now we've discussed about signing Koulibaly or Sergio Ramos. We discussed about Pau Torres, Rafael Varane, Jules Koundé. All these are world class players, and these players could make a huge difference if they sign for United. But what if United are not able to generate that kind of funds and sign any of these centre backs? Do we have an option? Yes, we do have a player from Lille who is a Dutch under 21 player. His name is Sven Botman. He plays for Lille in French league, available for 20 million pounds approximately. Would be a good player. The attributes are strong, good in the air, not pacey, but is quicker than Maguire and Lindelof. And the best thing about Botman is he's really a good player with the ball. His passing range is really good, and he's a left-footed centre back, something that we do not have at Manchester United. We have all centre backs who are right-footed. Marcos Rowe was the last left-footed centre back, and Sven Botman is the left-footed centre back. He's not a quicker centre back, but his recovery rate is really good. He can track back, and if you are playing a high line, he can really track back and stop those counter attacks. So, Prashant, what is your take on this centre back who is available for 20 million pounds and is just 21 years of age?
Yeah, I think he's a perfect fit right now. Looking at the budget that we have, if obviously now that it has been clarified to us that we cannot just go berserk with our spendings like Man City or PSG would. So I think this particular player would be really good because he is coming for a cut price first and foremost, and he not only is he like well reputed as we all know, but he has come through the Ajax ranks. So that's why he has these attributes of being good on the ball. That's why he has this good passing range, and more or less he even has a very good physicality factor
Correct.
with
Yes.
him. Physically also he's tall. He can actually dominate people in the air. That's another factor. So he has, and he is Dutch again, as I said. So there are some similarities just at this point. Like some of his attributes kind of remind us of an earlier Virgil van Dijk before he flourished. Like obviously not the current one, but before he flourished, because uh, I have been following Van Dijk from his Celtic days, and from then on in, he was also in a similar mold back then. So there are some good parallels for us to look at, and maybe if we do sign him, it would be really a great fit for our squad right now, specifically with the kind of game we play.
But absolutely, and yes, I know it's a risk. He may turn out to be someone like Sergio Ramos, or like you rightly mentioned, Virgil van Dijk, or Matthias Gillett, or he may even turn out to be a Phil Jones. But a prospect who is looking good and who is showing promise at French league can, of course, we can of course vouch and sign him, because rather than going for a player like Ben White or Tyrone Mings, or someone like Nikola Milenkovic, who may not end up being a good player. We know that chances of them being a successful signing is very less. We might rather invest in a player like Botman, who could be a future star for us. He may turn, like you rightly said, he may turn out to be a next Virgil van Dijk. We are far from that, but yes, he would be a much better signing compared to signing a Tyrone Mings or Ben White or Nikola Milenkovic. So
Yeah.
moving on to our next position now, we've all seen what happened last season. We wanted to sign a right winger from Borussia Dortmund. We messed up big time. We thought our board would end up negotiating. It would become something like Paul Pogba. Got stretched till the end of the summer transfer window, but eventually we ended up signing Paul Pogba. We thought the same thing would happen to Jadon Sancho, but Dortmund never budged, and we fell short, and we couldn't sign a player that Solskjaer wanted, a player that wanted to come to United. Can we do sign him this summer? Big question mark on that, because I don't think Borussia Dortmund will reduce the fee. Maximum, they will come down to 80-90 million. Do we have that kind of crazy money? I don't think so. So what are the options? I have a perfect option, and his name is Pedro Neto. He plays for Wolves, has all the attributes just like Sven Botman. In fact, he's a Premier League proven. He's recognized a lot by a lot of clubs, and a lot of clubs are looking to sign him. Good on the ball, can dribble, can take a shot, can cross, can pick a pass, has got all the attributes. And the biggest thing is he's a Premier League proven Portuguese player, and he's a player. He's been a player to watch out this season. What is your take on this player? And should United go for him if we are unable to sign a player like Jadon Sancho?
Pedro Neto is, as you mentioned, he is Premier League proven. That's a huge plus these days, because uh, let's not just consider other clubs, but if we consider just United's track record of our recent track record for the players that we have brought in from the Bundesliga, we have Shinji Kagawa, we have it reminds us of Mkhitaryan. So that's not really a very good company to be in. So it's not something which inspires confidence. And again, we are going through to the same team. They were both from Dortmund, and they did not exactly light up the stage at Old Trafford.
Mhm.
So I mean that's why Sancho would be a risk, even if we do pay out for him. Whereas we have Pedro Neto here, he's not only is he Premier League proven, he is a Portuguese international. He has a rapport with Bruno Fernandes. So they have worked together. That would help him out. He obviously not just that's not the only factor. There are a lot of other Spanish and Portuguese players in here at United as well. So he will not have any problem settling in. And the one of the major things which just comes to my mind is the agent, because as I said, like we've experienced with Pogba, Mino Raiola, he's always been a pain for us. That's not going to happen with him, simply because his agent is George Mendes. So in fact, I'm pretty sure every player at Wolves, he has been brought through George Mendes. So so he has a better relationship with us at United as compared to Mino Raiola, and he is not going to be so troublesome. So it will be easier for us to get a deal through. The Gea is also also
Correct.
has
Yeah. His agent is George Mendes. Yeah.
George Mendes. So we have a decent relationship with him comparatively. So that is definitely a good shout in there. He will, again, Premier League experience, and with the kind of matches that we have, I think having a winger like him will also have a good impact for other players at our squad who are still learning.
Yeah, absolutely right. And he is a player a lot of clubs are looking into, and he's played really well this season. One of the shining stars of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And if we were looking to sign him, we could do the deal for around 50 million. Uh, com- Out of all the players that we've looked for in the list, the five players, he turned out to be the most expensive, but it will be worth signing him for 50 million. He could turn out to be, a star in the upcoming future. And yes, it's not just us that we've been speaking of him. A lot of clubs have been looking for him, and he's been appreciated all across Europe. Wonderful signing. He's playing for Portugal right now, and I think if United are to look, to sign Pedro Neto, and as you rightly said, Mendes would not be a troublesome agent, and we could easily get him done if we have the intent to sign him. Now, moving on, we all know the situation with Paul Pogba. He might end up leaving us. He might end up signing a contract. But what if he ends up, leaving United? Do we have a replacement? Donny Van der Beek was brought in to, fulfill that expectation. But I don't think Solskjaer trusts him that much. He doesn't use him that much. He's hardly had any games. He's just started 2 Premier League games this season. Most of the time, he's come up from the bench for hardly like 5-10 minutes. Doesn't have the time to make an impact. So what do we do? Do we have a player we can sign as a replacement of Paul Pogba and make that similar kind of an impact? I wouldn't say a similar kind of impact, but I do have a player from RB Leipzig, the captain Sabitzer, brilliant player, box to box player, can play a CDM as well, tenacious player. He's a leader. He's the captain as well, and he's shown his leadership skills. He's been there with RB Leipzig since last 7 years. Austrian international and top rated players, been linked to Spurs a lot of time. But he's just got 1 year left in his contract after this season. If we sign him, we could do the deal for around 25-30 million. Do you think we should do a deal for him, or we should spend the majority of money on signing a striker and centre back?
Uh, I would say that yeah, midfield. These all of these three have to be spent on. Like we can't really. I mean, yeah, we can't really compromise on any of the three choices. But yes, the point which you made is a very valid one. That he's, if he is available for a good price, we should go for him. And if that does actually mean, I would say that the striking department is, in my opinion, is still okay for us. Like we can maybe just make do for one season if the midfielders are there, because
Mm-hmm.
let's say if we have a midfield engine, there's the likelihood that more chances will be created. So even if our strikers are really bad, which they are not, by the way, so even if our strikers are really bad, if the midfield does their job properly, there will be more chances, and therefore, I would say this will take priority, not necessarily over a centre back, but definitely over a striker, or maybe even a right winger to that extent, because this is a player that this is a type of player that United have been crying out loud about for some time now. Ever since Roy Keane left, we have not had a proper personality in that region of the field. Again, another name from the Bundesliga, which I have come across, is Florian Neuhaus. He is also he has had a wonderful season under Marco Rosa this year. He has proven himself to be a very good interceptor of the ball. He has all the attributes that we look for in our central defensive midfielder. So he has been doing well. We can definitely consider him as well. He is in fact available for about 22.5 million euros, as I've heard, and he would be in the last. If I'm not wrong, he is in the last year of his contract as well, so he can be looked up on as well.
Absolutely. And if you look out, there are a lot of players that are available. It's just that United are scouts are not able to look out for them and sign players, because if you look at the track history of Bayern Munich, they do not spend huge unless it is required. Look at the signings that they've made. They're not huge signings. They don't spend huge. They spend wisely, and that's what is required. And there are a lot of clubs who do that. There is a club, even Chelsea, if you see, they did not spend over 67. I think only the attacking midfielder, German international, what's his name? Sorry?
Rudiger?
Not the attacker. I forgot his name. I keep on forgetting.
Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz, yeah. He was 70 million. They bought Werner cheaply. They got Ziyech cheaply. So, if you scout players, if you know the value, before the season ends, you need to almost know. You need to know which players you want to sign. You cannot go on, monitoring players for half of your transfer window and then look to negotiate with the clubs for the other half of the transfer window. It will never work out. Majority of the clubs will have the transfer sort out before the season begins, but we drag on till the end of the transfer window. That's what makes us really, really bad, and we never have a good transfer window. Sir Alex always used to hide it by being a great man manager, but after he retired, we've been literally exposed. And that brings me to my next player that we have on our list. And like you rightly said, we need someone dominant in the center of the park, someone like Roy Keane or Michael Carrick, who is an influential character. And there is a player from Brighton Hove Albion, East Bissouma, brilliant player. Malian international, has been rated highly by a lot of clubs, and he's been scouted a lot. Arsenal are linked to him, Spurs are linked to him, and a lot of clubs want him. Available for 30 million. He's got out of the top 5 interceptors and tacklers, Bissouma is in the top 5 list. Imagine 174 interceptions and he's had 92 tackles. I think he's very close to, he's next to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think very close to Declan Rice as well. So top rated player, and a lot of clubs are scouting him. Could be available for 30 million. If we can't afford to sign a player like Declan Rice or Wilfred Ndidi, who will be available for nothing less than 50 to 60 million, we could rather go for East Bissouma. Again, young player, around 20 to 23 years of age, from Brighton Hove Albion, Malian international, will be available for 30 million pounds. I wouldn't say that the advantage Bissouma has over the other players is that apart from Rice and Ndidi, he's already a Premier League proven. He knows about Premier League. He has played in that league, and he will get straight into our team. That is the advantage Bissouma has over the other two players, Sabitzer and the other one. Yeah. So, do you think it would be wise to go for Bissouma, or we should go straight in for someone like Rice or Ndidi?
Rice or Ndidi are would again be pretty much on the higher side, and Leicester know how to get more money out of United. I think I am pretty sure every club now has that knowledge as to how to squeeze more money out of United. So that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, I don't think he would be a bad fit. As you said, Malian international. He played for Brighton, so the thing about Brighton is, okay, he is not exactly playing Champions League football every week, but then he basically playing for a relegation threatened side. So he will have the experience of having that pressure week in, week out, doing your 100% for the team. And again, he is a youngster. He still has some way to develop. So being at United, he would also develop. He'll get the exposure that he needs, that where he'll be playing in Europe, possibly. So that would help him even develop better. So for him, it's a good shout. On the same lines, compared to Ndidi, we even have Ruben Neves, which is a name which has been thrown around.
Brilliant player. I love Ruben Neves.
Yeah, and he's a player. Imagine that Wolves weren't even they aren't even such a big side, but people knew his name even before Wolves returned to the Premier League, simply because of the kind of goals he was scoring. They were all going viral. So a defensive midfielder who is good from long range shooting as well. He has been scoring some really crazy goals. So imagine the way he will add to our free kick options. If we win a free kick, we'll have Bruno as well as...
I spoke about top 5 interceptors. Ruben Neves is on that list.
Yeah, exactly. So he may be a little bit more expensive as well. Not as much as Ndidi. I would say probably maybe if Ndidi is like 60 million, I think we can maybe get Neves for about 40 to 50 million. So that is another option which we can go for.
Explore, yeah.
As and there is also there are a lot of rumors that are linking Aaron Ramsey to a lot of clubs. He has been today. I read he was linked with Liverpool. Liverpool were looking to sign him in a shock move because he's going to be available for cheap. So if we have like a stop gap option, Ramsey is something which even we can try for.
Mhm.
But regardless of
Injury
whoever,
prone, bro. His injury record is really bad.
yeah,
As much as a brilliant player, he's a box to box player, brilliant player, and good on the ball, good with shooting, passing. He's got all the attributes. The only problem that I have with player like Ramsey and Dembele is their injury record. That's really poor, and that is the only thing that I would. I mean, there's no doubting his potential. Brilliant player. He's done good for Arsenal. Not been all that good for Juventus. Maybe Serie A doesn't suit him. But yes, he could do well for United. But I would rather stay away from that signing because
that's signing,
again,
yeah.
no point in spending huge. Will have to give him a huge wage as well because he's on a good, pretty decent wage at Juventus. We'll have to at least match that wage. So pointless again. I do not want a Sanchez. It may not happen as well. You never know. He may turn out to be, starter every week. He may start the entire season. So, but it's a a big risk, just like Dembele from Barcelona. So, yes,
Yeah.
I would stay away from that. But yes, again, not a bad player at all. The only problem is injury.
Yeah, and one of his teammates, Adrian Rabiot, again similar position, similar kind of price tag as well. But yeah, he has the attitude issue, so that is something which we already have. We have had that with Pogba, so we'll just be replacing one Frenchman with another who has an attitude issue. Again, Pogba has also been good at times, but I'm just talking
I think
historically.
Pogba has improved a lot. I mean, it's and what I feel is sometimes Pogba is a bit misunderstood. Things that his agent says is reflected on him. Maybe he's not the one who directs him. Maybe his agent is like that because you saw the way he's dealing with the current situation, going in and around. He's going to Barcelona, Madrid, and then he's going to come to England today. So he's open
Yeah.
about it, and that's why we misunderstand Pogba. But from what I've heard and what I've seen players talk, Pogba is a leader in the dressing room. All of the players respect Pogba a lot, and he speaks his mind out. And after that, the incident happened in November, December, I think. When we got knocked out of the Champions League, Pogba has been brilliant. I mean, he's been quiet. The first time he's gone on the international duty, he hasn't spoken anything about his future. He's been calm about it. He's been very professional. He's got back to his form. So I feel sometimes Pogba is misunderstood. He may not have that kind of potential. The way, yeah, he's been very active on social media, the things that he does, because of that, it makes him a bad person. But I don't think Pogba is actually that person that, reflects, that his character reflects.
Yeah, well, see, the verdict here would be that there are two sides to every story. So what you are saying would not be completely wrong, but then again, the reason that now Pogba has been blamed so much is because of the fact that okay, for once someone else says on your behalf, you can say that okay, yeah, uh, it was just a one-off. But then again, repeatedly someone
Yeah,
else keeps talking on his behalf.
you're right.
Sometimes Desham speaks on his behalf, then his brother speaks, now his agent speaks. Sometimes his girlfriend posts something which kind of hints at him moving to somewhere else. So
Yeah,
that is why people have been constantly targeting and blaming him. If he does eventually leave, which he is rumored to again, who knows? He might. I mean, I don't think it would make such a difference to United. If we get a replacement, even better.
absolutely, you're right. And moving on to our last player that we tracked out, and his name is we've done Bisuma, we've done striker Andre Silva. Played for AC Milan, didn't do that well. Has come to Eintracht Frankfurt, banging in goals. I mean, 21 goals. He's I think equal with Erling Haaland. Just that Erling Haaland is a prodigy, and a lot of people talk about him.
Yeah.
But Andre Silva has been equally good for Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht
Yes.
Frankfurt do not have stars like Sancho and Bellingham and Royce to assist him, but still he's done pretty decent. And though he may not be as quick as your Haaland and Harry Kane's, but is really good at getting into that dangerous position. Someone thing like Van Nistelrooy used to do, and he can bang in goals. The only problem is he was a flop at AC Milan, so it would be a risk. But then I think I've watched him in Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt. He is really good. He has that qualities of, I wouldn't say a proper something like someone like Edinson Cavani, but he does display a quality of a top number nine. Something which Solskjaer always has said about having at United. He needs a top number nine who could be that finishing top, get into the spaces, run into the channels, and get into the box, into the finishing position. To take the header, to do those kind of tap ins. So you need that kind of player. We do not have that kind of a striker except Cavani. And if Cavani leaves, we may need Andres Silva, available for 30 to 40 million. Would be a good signing. Again, a risky thing. He may not be able to score that many goals he's scoring for in Bundesliga, because playing in a Bundesliga is a different ball game than playing in Premier League. So again, would be a risk, but I think rather than spending 150 million for Haaland or Kane, I would rather have him and spend that money on a centre back and getting a midfielder. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I have, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of signing players from the Bundesliga and putting them straight into the Premier League. Like in recent years, I just mentioned Kagawa
Yeah,
and
Mkhitaryan and
earlier.
Kagawa.
Yeah, so let's take Chelsea's example.
Yeah.
They are signing some
Havertz,
German players.
Werner,
How are
yeah.
how are they doing? They are also struggling, right? So that's the only question which comes to my mind. Like if I think of a lot of players who have actually come
From
through
Bundesliga,
from the
yeah.
Bundesliga, they not all of them have exactly been successful. Kevin De Bruyne is an exception. Ilkay Gundogan is an exception. But then again, they have Pep Guardiola. He can get the best out of anyone. So those players are an exception. But then again, well, where do we? I really cannot recollect any other team who has a player signed from the Bundesliga and having done well and having lived up to that kind of hype. Aubameyang is one who has done a decent job. And speaking of strikers, actually, Aubameyang is also in his last year. In the last,
I don't want him.
of his
32
contract.
years of age.
Yeah, so he
Injury
might
prone.
be. Yeah, he's also out, but I won't be surprised if United signed him simply because he would be an easy option for United to get, and he's marketable.
Yeah.
So United might
Yeah.
go for him. I'm not saying they should, but they might shock us by actually going for someone like that. So
Solskjaer
that's
said in his press conference today, we spoke about Haaland. He said we may end up signing a player we've not even heard about or not talked about in the news and gossip. So he did say that. So I'm not saying it's Aubameyang, but yeah, we may end up signing a player that we've not spoken about all this, while, and we may not even speak about him in the upcoming weeks. But all of a sudden, United don't do that kind of thing. I've hardly seen. I think Eric Bay was the last one. He came out of nowhere. We were never linked to him, and all of a sudden, we signed Eric Bay, and we were all excited. He did pretty well, pretty decent in his first season. And then injuries, hurt his career. But yes, likelihood of United doing such kind of signing is very less. But yes, if we do such kind of signing, out of nowhere, and he turns out to be a good player, not I'm talking about Aubameyang, but any player, be it a striker or a centre back or a defensive midfielder, it would be really good, because I'm tired of these rumors and getting linked for weeks and weeks, dragging, negotiating, talking with clubs, not coming to a conclusion, and spending another transfer window with a disappointing ending. Whether I do not want another disappointment. I want United to sign players to fix the actual issue. I do not want to sign a striker when we don't need such kind. A priority is a centre back and a defensive midfielder. If you are able to get a striker or an attacker or a right winger, nothing like it. But I think the priority should be a centre back and defensive midfielder, which I don't think is United want a centre back. We all know that. We should have got a centre back last season and right winger last season. We've carried on that transfer targets this season, and that's why we're not able to sign a defensive midfielder and striker. So we still are, looking to sign targets which should have been signed last season. That's that's something really bad and shouldn't have happened in the first place. But here we are, and I feel like
it's a very it's just something which we have become used to in the Glazer era. As I've said, like I remember now this kind of a thing has been going on for almost a decade now. I remember the days where something similar happened with Wesley Schneider. Before that, it was Lucas Moura,
Yeah,
and he's at he basically left us and he went with PSG, and he is at Spurs today. He still hasn't joined United, and he's done pretty well at Spurs as well. So there are many signings, many names which we missed out on simply because of the lousiness of our board,
yeah.
and I don't know
I
how the new
thought
structure will
I
work,
thought we
but
will end up signing Wesley Schneider in the Fergie era, but that never happened. And not
suddenly,
just Schneider, it was
Schneider,
Vidal during
Arturo
the Louis
Vidal,
van Gaal time. We were
yeah,
linked so much to him, and then last year it was Grealish and Sancho. And again, we get keep on getting linked to the. I think Pogba is the only one which we thought that it would never happen. Real Madrid would take him, but he signed to United. That was the only surprising thing. We got linked to him, dragged on, and then finally we got him. We paid 100
yeah,
million for him, but we got him. That was the only deal I thought, getting talked about so much, and and at the finally we got to sign him. So that's the only deal I seen. Otherwise, apart from that, we've been absolutely bizarre in the transfer window. It's been horrendous for the past, especially after the. It, you know what? It was that bad during from the time Glazers took over. Is just that Ferguson, Sir Alex used to hide all of that by his man management skill. The way he used to train the players, he used to get the best out of him. He was really good at man management, and that's what he used to hide and used to win. Still, we were able to win trophies, but that's no longer the case. We've been exposed really bad after Sir Alex retired, and yeah, I one can only hope the arrival of John Mutego and Darren Fletcher may change things. Although I don't expect much because Mutego was already a part of United for the last 7 years.
yeah,
Just been his job role has been changed. I don't think anything different. I don't expect anything different. It's just that Woodward will indirectly control the signings and incomings and outgoings. It'll just be Mutogos and Fletcher's name will be shown in the newspapers and everywhere,
yes,
but all
yeah.
be Woodward again. So, Prashant, before I end up the video, I want to ask you. You read a lot of things, a lot of stuff in the newspaper. You don't read as much about transfers and gossip, but I do. But you research a lot about young players and upcoming players. Any player that you have in mind that United should be looking for?
At this point, there are a lot of up and coming talents across Europe. We actually just missed out very closely on Jude Bellingham, who you
Yeah.
may have heard of. He's at Dortmund as well. So, yeah, I mean, there aren't many other players that I can think of at this point that I've come across because with the same hype. So, yeah, there are a few players that United are scouting still, but Amad Diallo was one which we had been scouting for some time, and we got him. Hopefully, he blossoms into a good shape. But
Yeah.
apart from that, there aren't many names which are popping up right now in the circle. And just coming back to one of your earlier points, I have actually noticed that a lot of agents just throw in United's name simply to put
Yeah,
hike up their
absolutely.
price as well.
It's been happening since quite a few years.
Yeah. So Sergio Ramos, it worked for Sergio Ramos as well.
He's done a lot of time. He's
Yeah,
done to
exactly.
get a better contract, and he will do it again this summer. I'm sure because he's out of contract this summer. So either he'll put in United's name to get a good contract out of Real Madrid, or go out of sign for PSG or some other club. He will use United's name.
Yeah.
Uh, this has been happening since a lot of time. I mean, we get linked to a lot of players. Some we may not be interested, some we may be interested, but we can't afford to do the deal. We do not have, I literally say it, we do not have the balls to do that kind of a deal, and we mess it up big time.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show, Prashant. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Like I said, your love and support is all we need, and thank you for watching once again this video. I will see you after the Brighton game, that is on Sunday. Do watch that game. We are back after the international, friendlies and the qualifiers. I'm really hoping that it's the last part of the season. I'm really hoping we end the season on a really high, nothing less than second position, and I want the Europa League. I want us to win the Europa League. Not that I like that cup that much, but that's the only cup that we are in right now. I want us to win that cup. So, closing this video with expectations. that United finished on top, second, and we end up having a good transfer window. Anything you want to add up, Prashant?
No, nothing much. Thank you so much for having you here, Divya, and I look forward to seeing all of our viewers again.
Sure, Prashant. Thank you very much, and guys, take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.